Best regards, my ruffians. Today is another episode of my series Weird Wikipedia, where I cover topics found in weird, obscure, or disturbing Wikipedia articles. While doing research for my last video on Darla the dog, I came across a See Also link in the Wikipedia, and it took me to an article called Individual Dogs. And while I'm not trying to turn my channel into a dog channel, I could not resist covering this topic because there was just so much good stuff in it. So this episode is going to consist of individual dogs that have become famous for many different reasons. This is ranging from dog actors to the ugliest dogs in the world and even evil dogs. And without further ado, let's get started. Yes, I'm wearing doggy ears because it's a video about dogs. I'm not a furry. And there's nothing wrong with being a furry. If I was a furry, I would just be a furry. I have way more cringy interests than furries. And if I had a fursona, it wouldn't be a dog. It would be something cool, like a turkey, like a big old turkey. So if someone wants to draw me a fursona of a giant turkey, that would be great. Our first category for the Individual Dogs Wiki is advertising mascots. Here are 5 dogs famous for being stars of commercials and other advertising mediums. Alex the dog. Banjo the dog was born in 1984 and is famous for being the Stroh's beer mascot, Alex the dog, predating the more famous canine beer mascot Spuds MacKenzie by several years. Alex was a very popular mascot, being featured in parades and on Good Morning America. And in his most famous commercial, a group of friends are playing poker, and Alex brings one of them a Stroh beer and returns to the kitchen. Off camera, you can hear a beer can opening and then a dog lapping up liquid, and the owner shouts, "That better be water." I mean, what's more badass than a dog drinking beer that he poured for himself? I'm here for it. I want to drink a beer with this dog, and I don't even really like beer. There's also a lot of really cool merch featuring Banjo as Alex the dog, and much of it is now valuable collector's items. I personally would love to have one of these posters. Banjo, part golden retriever and Irish setter, was found by his trainer in a dog shelter. He unfortunately passed away in 1989 from cancer. I'm really sorry for ending this entry on a sad note. I promise that this video won't be all, dog cancer. There's some happy stuff in here too, I promise. Gidget the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Now for a more well-known dog celebrity among modern audiences, and by modern I do mean people my age. Gidget was a Chihuahua born in 1994 and was the advertising mascot for Taco Bell from 1997 to 2000. I distinctly remember these commercials despite only being 3 years old in 2000. I don't know if there was reruns or if this dog is just a key memory for me. Regardless, this little pup is an icon. The commercials using Gidget gained traction in midst of the Burger Wars. This was a war in which fast food companies would fight each other via advertising. mostly consisting of just straight up attack ads between Burger King and McDonald's. Basically, just talking about how shitty each other's burgers were. Wendy's sometimes got involved, but it was mainly between McDonald's and Burger King. Despite all of this, the Taco Bell ads were mostly wholesome and cute. The commercials contained Gidget the Chihuahua speaking and uttering the famous line, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Gidget was voiced by Carlos Jamie Alazarki, who is an Argentinian voice actor. The dog had additional catchphrases such as "Drop the chalupa" and "Viva Gordita." There was also a crossover with the 1998 American Godzilla movie where the Chihuahua tries to capture the famous kaiju saying, "Here, lizard, lizard, lizard," only to see Godzilla's size and respond, "Uh-oh, I need a bigger box." And this was referring to a snack box combo that Taco Bell was doing at the time. The Taco Bell dog really became a cultural juggernaut, being memed and having merch made of it, including toys. However, this dog is not without controversy. The character was criticized for being racially insensitive to Latin Americans due to the way they would dress the Chihuahua and the stereotypical way it would speak. Due to this, the mascot was retired by Taco Bell in the year 2000. However, Gidget's fame did not end there. Gidget went on to be in several Geico commercials and even have a role in the Legally Blonde sequel in 2003, where she played the mom of the main character's pet Chihuahua. Gidget was even featured in later Taco Bell campaigns, but a lot less racist this time, luckily. Gidget passed away in 2009 at the age of 15. The Taco Bell Corporation made a statement saying, "Gidget would be missed by many fans and our deepest sympathies go out to the owners and the fans." Spud McKenzie. Spuds McKenzie was a mascot for Budweiser beer and was played by a female bull terrier named Honey Tree Evil Eye. That is such a crazy name for a dog, and I do not like it. Why is one of the most famous dogs in history have a racehorse name? That's just not right. Stop giving dogs racehorse names. They're not a horse. Anyway, Honey Tree Evil Eye was born on October 7th, 1983, and first showed up in Bud Light commercials during the Super Bowl in 1987. Despite Honey Tree being female, the Spuds McKenzie character is actually male, which apparently caused controversy. I don't know why people care about the sex of a dog actor. It literally makes no difference. It's not like the dog gives a shit either way. But anyway, politicians and anti-drunk driving activists basically went to war with Spuds McKenzie. They cited that the use of a dog to sell beer was leading to children wanting to drink at younger ages. Despite all of this, Spuds McKenzie was a huge hit with audience and has lived on as a pop culture icon, even being featured as a ghost in a 2017 Super Bowl ad. Honey Tree Evil Eye passed away in 1993. Nipper. Nipper is possibly the first ever advertising dog icon. Known as the RCA Victor dog, Nipper was used in advertisements for gramophones and other early music players. Nipper was a male terrier mutt born in 1884. He served as a model for an 1898 painting by British painter Francis Bourgeois titled His Master's Voice. He got his unfortunate name from being known for nipping at his owner's ankles. The dog was featured in newspaper and magazine advertisements for Edison Bell Phonograph. He was initially denied as an advertising mascot by the company because they said, quote, "Dogs don't listen to phonographs," which is ridiculous. They aren't selling to dogs anyway. And some dogs like listening to music, so screw you. There is a crazy amount of products themed off of the RCA Victor dog, ranging from pocket watches, salt and pepper shakers, paperweights, cigar lighters, stuffed toys, coffee mugs, t-shirts, clocks. The list really, really goes on. And these items advertised by Nipper have become very valuable collectibles. Nipper continues to be the mascot of many HMV stores in the countries that retain the rights to the dog character. There has been a lot of artwork made of Nipper, and a life-sized ornament of Nipper appears in the music video of Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time. At the Space Mountain roller coaster in Disney World, a replication of Nipper with the gramophone appeared inside a spaceship and remained until the sponsorship from RCA to Walt Disney World ended, upon which he was made into a robot dog and moved elsewhere within the lines into the ride. I didn't know about this dog, but he is very adorable, and it's crazy that he has such a big legacy ranging from like over 100 years. He passed away in 1895. The Bush Baked Beans dog. Sam was a golden retriever who played Duke Bush in advertising campaigns for Bush's Baked Beans, where the dog owner, Jay Bush, who was the president of the company, pleads for the dog to keep the family's secret bean recipe. The famous line in this commercial said by the dog is, "Roll that beautiful bean footage," which is so good. So good. I don't know who came up with that, but you really can't beat "Roll that beautiful bean footage." And this is usually followed by a sultry montage of the baked beans, usually at like a barbecue or something. The character was based on and named after the company owner's actual dog, Duke, but he was too camera shy to play himself in the commercials. There were actually 9 other dog actors that portrayed the character, but Sam was the best known actor until he passed away in 2018. It was really hard to find any more specific info about Sam or the other dog actors' lives, but this is definitely one of the best dog mascots, and I hope he is rolling that beautiful bean footage in the afterlife. Now, obviously, there are other advertising dogs, but I wanted to get into some other individual dog categories from this wiki. So, in honor of Darla, let's talk about some canine film actors. Ace the Wonder Dog. Ace the Wonder Dog was a German shepherd dog actor in many films and film serials from 1938 to 1946. He is considered by many critics an attempt by RKO Pictures to cash in on the success of Warner Brothers' dog icon Rin Tin Tin. Ace was in mostly adventure films and has over 12 titles in his filmography. Barkley. Barkley is a Jack Russell Terrier who appeared in several films, including The Bodyguard, but was most famous for being Rimshot, the dog companion from the Ernest movies. Rimshot. What an absolute terrible name for a dog. Who is naming these dogs? Rimshot? Are you effing kidding me? What the fuck? This was Ernest's third dog and appeared in Ernest Scared Stupid, which is admittingly a childhood favorite of mine, and Ernest Goes to Jail. I couldn't find much about the personal life of Barkley, but he has been said to be the Tom Cruise of dogs, which I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if Tom Cruise would do 7 Ernest movies. Now I'm thinking of Ernest movies if they starred Tom Cruise. And we're on to something. We're on to something here. Buddy. Buddy was a golden retriever born in 1988. He was a stray found in the Sierra Nevada mountains and was adopted by a family and taught how to play sports like basketball and volleyball. This would go on to imitate art as Buddy went on to play Bud in the Air Bud movie franchise. His stardom began with a clip of Buddy on America's Funniest Home Videos and was featured in a Late Night with David Letterman segment, Stupid Pet Tricks. I've been called a stupid pet trick, and I didn't appreciate it. He would return to the late night show 2 more times. Disney went on to cast Buddy in 1997's Air Bud, which was a great success, and Buddy was nominated at the 1998 Kids' Choice Awards for Best Animal Star. Before his death in 1998, Buddy had 9 puppies. Air Bud went on to have a slew of sequels where Air Bud was recast, and throughout the franchise run, the character was played by over 15 different dogs. But I don't think any of them come near just how lovable Buddy was in these movies. Pal. Pal was a male rough collie born in 1940. In Hollywood, California. He is known for being the first ever dog to play the Lassie role in film and radio. I don't know how the radio part works exactly. Did he just bark into a microphone? I mean, that's basically what I do, so Godspeed. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer casted Pal as Lassie in 1943 and starred in 8 Lassie films. His legacy is immense, considering he's the first dog to make a lot of children cry for the first time. And he was even played by drag performer Gottmik in a season of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. Just look at this. That's absurd. I love it though. Zimbo, the dog. For the last dog actor I'm going to talk about, Dactor, if you will, it's Zimbo the dog. Zimbo the dog was a male German Shepherd and was a true artiste. He was kind of like the Willem Dafoe of dog actors. He played the main character's dog, Homo, in the 1922 silent film, The Man Who Laughs. That's right. The character's name is Homo, played by Zimbo the dog. I just love everything about this. And that's kind of it. That's all we know about Zimbo. I just wanted to include him because we don't have a lot of famous silent film dog actors, and the stills from this film always spooked me as a kid. And I giggled that his name is Homo. I'll admit that. Athlete dogs. Our next section is all about athletes. I'm not much of a sports fan, but these are some interesting entries regardless. Ashley Whippet. Ashley Whippet was a male Whippet born in 1971. And if there's one thing about me, is I love Whippets, but also the dog breed too. Ashley was the first notable disc dog and was very successful in the competitive frisbee world, winning 3 canine frisbee disc world championships. Ashley gained fame when his owner, a 19-year-old college student, smuggled him into the Dodgers stadium and then jumped over the fence onto the field where he threw frisbees for Ashley to catch, right in the middle of a game. The crowd was cheering, and the game announcer even began announcing the frisbee catches and commenting on it as if it was just part of the baseball game. Ashley's skills as a disc dog were featured in 1977 documentary Floating Free. This is a documentary about the Frisbee World Championships and was nominated for an Academy Award in the category of Best Live Action Short Film. They better have brought that dog to the Oscars ceremony. He's nominated in a film. He deserves to be there. Ashley also had an ice cream shop named after him near Yale University. Ashley Whippet's favorite ice cream flavor was chocolate banana. I don't know why they were feeding this dog ice cream, but maybe it helped with sports. It helps me, but not with sports. This was a category in the wiki that I cared about the least, honestly, but I love everything about Ashley Whippet's story, and I hope you do too. It's just really fun thinking about someone jumping on a baseball field and just starting to play frisbee with your dog. That's so silly and whimsical. Thank you, Ashley Whippet. Master McGrath. Master McGrath was a greyhound born in 1866 in Ireland. Master was the runt of the litter and reportedly very weak, but he would go on to be one of the most successful racing dogs ever. He won the Waterloo Cup 3 times in 1868, 1869, and 1871. And he was the first dog to ever win that many times. He became so famous that he was taken to meet Queen Victoria by a baron that was a fan of the racing dog. Not only was a bronze sculpture made of him, but there was also a song written about Master McGrath. This was like an Irish pub song, and I think people still sing it today, which is really, really cute. Let's talk about some faithful, loyal dogs. And just a warning, the story I'm talking about is a little bit sad, so I understand if you want to skip it. I will have timestamps for each of the sections in the description of this video. Canelo. Canelo was a mixed terrier dog born in late 1980s in Spain. Canelo lived with an elderly owner who is anonymous in this story and would go on walks with his owner to the hospital where he was receiving kidney dialysis treatment. Canelo would wait outside of the hospital door until the treatment was over and he could return home with his owner. Unfortunately, in 1990, the owner would pass away from his illness during a hospital visit. Canelo, not knowing that he had died, waited outside the hospital for the next 12 years until his own passing. After a while, the hospital staff got sick of the dog being outside, and so he was taken to a kennel twice, but he escaped both times. This caused the Animal Welfare Organization of Spain to obtain a special pardon for Canelo so that he could continue waiting outside the hospital without any legal issues. Hospital workers and neighbors came to love Canelo and kept on feeding him and providing him with cardboard beds as he remained outside the hospital, refusing to be adopted by two different families who volunteered to look after him. I don't know this for sure, but I have to guess that this is the inspiration for Fry's dog in Futurama. It's just such a similar story. And I'm not going to lie, much like that episode, I fully cried while writing this part of the script. But I don't think we should be sad about this story. Canelo was happy and loved and was staying somewhere that felt comfortable and familiar to him. I think the loyalty and love of dogs is so beautiful, and it inspires me to be more loyal to my own loved ones. And I'm only going to be doing one entry for this category because I don't want to cry anymore. And honestly, most of these dogs are ones that waited for their owner, very similar to how Canelo's story was. But if people are interested in a video about more of these type of stories, please let me know in the comments. Working dogs. The working section for this wiki is primarily covering military dogs. Let's get into it. Bosserillo. This is a rare entry about a very, very bad dog. A colonizer dog. I'm not even joking. So sorry, this one's a little rough. Bosserillo was owned by Juan Ponce de Leon and was used as an attack dog in Puerto Rico. He is apparently noted for being a big factor in getting the people to yield to the Spanish colonial rule. Now, this is up to a lot of speculation, as a lot of these stories about Bosserillo are more of legends than facts, but according to legend, during one particular battle, Bosserillo killed 33 of the native warriors, and that is just beyond terrifying and sounds like an actual horror movie. This dog became more feared than the soldiers he fought along with. Chips. Chips was a German Shepherd Collie Malamute mix dog born in 1940 and was the most decorated dog of all World War II. Chips was donated to the United States Army during World War II by his family. Chips worked as a sentry dog, and what a sentry dog is, it basically means that he would warn troops from danger of enemy combatants that would be coming in from behind them, or if they were in the dark, he would warn people that enemies were coming. He served in Italy, North Africa, and Germany. He was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, and the Purple Heart for his service. However, these awards were later revoked due to an army policy preventing official recognition of animals. But his unit unofficially awarded him a theater ribbon with an arrowhead attached to it. And it had battle stars for each of the 8 campaigns that this dog participated in. Real literature dogs. There are many famous dogs in books that are based on real dogs, and this is the case for our next entry. Seaman. Is YouTube gonna get mad at me for saying this dog's name? Well, anyway, Seaman was a Newfoundland dog, likely born in the late 1790s, and was part of the Lewis and Clark expedition, and was the only animal to complete the entire 3-year journey. He was purchased by Meriwether Lewis in Pittsburgh for $20, which is around $400 with inflation, which is like an entire month's pay in the army at that time, apparently. Seaman would help hunt food for the members of the expedition and was able to finish the mission despite retaining an injury from a beaver. He would become the official mascot for the Lewis and Clark College in Portland, Oregon. But his legacy is mostly known for the many children's books that he was featured in, with titles like the 1988's Ballad of Seaman and 2003's Dog Gone West, the story of Lewis and Clark and a dog named Seaman. I love a good dog pun, and I just love everything about the title of that story. Why did he name him Seaman? I don't understand. He's not a sailor. Dogs of unusual size. This is pretty self-explanatory. These dogs are either the smallest or biggest dogs in history. Big dogs, tiny dogs, fat dogs. We've got them all. Heaven sent Brandy. At it again with these weird racehorse names. Heaven sent Brandy gained the Guinness World Record for being the smallest dog by length in 2007. She was a 6-inch long Chihuahua and also won a few dog show awards. Brandy's record was in heavy competition with other tiny dogs such as Tom Thumb, a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix. Benedictine. Benedictine was a Saint Bernard that is on record as the heaviest ever dog at 162 kilograms or 357 pounds, which is scary. That's like Cujo level. It's too big. It's too big. I'm sure he's really cute though, but he's too big. Zeus. Zeus is a Great Dane and the world's tallest dog ever at 3 feet 8 inches or 1.118 meters and 7 foot 5 inches or 2.26 meters if he's standing on his hind legs. That's also too big. That's also too big. I feel like if I saw that dog on its hind legs in the dark, I would assume it's the weird white alien baby monster from Alien Romulus. I don't need to see that. Intelligent dogs. I think as a species, dogs have kind of a bad reputation for being dumb. But I say, what's wrong with being dumb? Anyways, these dogs are way smarter than me anyway. Betsy. Betsy is a border collie from Austria born in 2002 and is known for being one of the world's smartest ever dogs. Betsy was able to sit on command and knew numerous objects by their name, such as balls and a set of key, and would fetch them on a verbal command. Betsy was also featured in an issue of National Geographic where she was listed as knowing over 340 words. After only hearing a word twice, Betsy is able to decipher that that sound is a command or instruction and then regards it as such. Therefore, she's basically learning the word, and she learns these words in a similar way that human toddlers do. Her language understanding is on par with great ape species. Basically, they would test this by saying different words, and she would come back with the correct item in her mouth. Chaser. Come on, you don't gotta tell me about chasers. Please. Chaser was also a female border collie, but born in 2004 in the United States, and has been known as the smartest dog in the world. She has the largest tested memory of any non human animal. Chaser could identify and retrieve 1,022 toys by their name. Chaser's vocabulary grew over time, starting at 50 words at 5 months, 200 words at 7 months, 700 words at 1.5 years, and over 1,000 by the time she was 3 years old. She began to learn the words of these items at 5 months old and would be featured on 60 Minutes in 2014. Jim the Wonder Dog. And now for a different type of intelligence. Jim the Wonder Dog was a Llewellyn setter born in 1927 Louisiana. And he was thought to have had a supernatural intelligence, being able to predict the sex of a baby before it was born. Jim could also predict things like winners of horse races and the World Series. I think this is just similar to a lot of stories of people putting two objects in front of an animal, like an octopus or something, and then stating that based on whatever item it chooses, that it predicted something. It's silly, but I do love this tradition of just plain foolishness. And Jim the Wonder Dog has been memorialized with a bronze statue in Marshall, Missouri, for being a psychic dog. Long-lived dogs. The saddest part of having an animal companion is the discrepancy of lifespans. But in this section, all of the dogs have lived unusually long. Bobby. Bobby was a Rafeiro do Alentejo dog born in Portugal in May 11th, 1992. Bobby is documented as the longest living dog since he died in 2023 at the age of 31, which is crazy to think that last year there was a dog that was older than me just out there, and I had no idea about it. I couldn't even hug it or tell it I loved it. It's tragic. However, Bobby's age was disputed by experts. The world record ended up being revoked as there was not enough proof of the dog's birth. However, he is usually noted to have died at the age of 31. And I say, let this old-ass dog be an old-ass dog. Nobody's getting hurt by this. And the Guinness World Record Corporation is just a bunch of hogwash anyway. So let Bobby be the oldest dog. Notorious Dogs. This was one of my favorite sections of this Wikipedia article. I'm a big true crime nerd, and I was not expecting to see dogs that fit into this category. Buddha. Oh God, this is a rough one. I'm so sorry. Buddha was a pug in Scotland who was trained by his owner's boyfriend to do the Nazi salute. This is one of the worst things I've heard, at least this week. Come on, why would you do this to a cute little pug? They have enough problems not being able to breathe. Don't make them fascist. The story does have a happy ending, however, as the person responsible was charged for a hate crime, which was kind of surprising for me. I feel like that wouldn't happen in the United States, and it would be defended by idiots advocating for pug free speech to be a fascist or something. Dormy was a terrier in 1920s California. He was accused of unaliving 14 cats and was sent to actual trial court for murder. He was even paw printed. I'm not making any of this stuff up. It's just that silly. The Chicago Tribune joked that Dormy's trial would expose the inner secrets of the upper strata of dogdom, which is pretty good. That is pretty funny. Dormy ended up being acquitted, with only one juror deciding for the doggy death penalty. This sent me down a whole rabbit hole of dogs that have been sent to prison, and it's a whole thing. So I might do a video about that later too. I don't know. Ugly dogs. So we've talked about some very good dogs and some very bad dogs. And now it's time to talk about some very ugly dogs. There has been a long history of ugly dog contests, and some famous contestants coming out of these competitions. Mostly Chinese crested Chihuahuas for some reason, which I think is really rude, but they do kind of look gross, so I do understand. But this entry is about a very special dog named Peggy, who is a Puggies mixed with a crested Chinese Chihuahua. Peggy was born in 2018 and was noted for being Britain's ugliest dog, which I think is completely unfounded because she is adorable in my opinion. I mean, look at her. She's so cute. After appearing on the show BBC Breakfast, Peggy became famous worldwide and was cast as Dogpool, a dog version of the Marvel character Deadpool, in the recent Deadpool vs. Wolverine movie. She was trained to jump into Ryan Reynolds' arms, which is something that I would do without training, so I don't know why that makes her so special. She is nominated for a Fidos Award for the film. The Fidos Awards are a British award show dedicated to dog acting performances, and the next one will be held in 2025. So I will maybe do an update in case Peggy wins. I'm really rooting for her, even though I didn't watch that movie. This award show was inspired by a Cannes Film Festival category that I had no idea about called the Palm Dog, which has been an award category since 2001, and it has the cutest logo. All right, that's all for today's episode of Weird Wikipedia. I hope you enjoyed learning about these very special dogs, even the kind of mean, bad ones. The Wikipedia page for this was super long, and it probably would have taken me 3 hours if I were to cover every single dog mentioned in them. But this has opened up a lot of dog rabbit holes that I will probably use for future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and comment below. You can also subscribe to be one of my patrons, and your name will be featured in future videos. And with that, I'm Dead Girl, and goodbye, good night, and God bless you.